Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Adapted Life podcast with Julie Hasselberger. I am so happy to be here. It is August already, August 1st. Wow. The summer's been really great, but it's just goes by too fast, doesn't it? So, today is episode 16, and I'm going to talk about gratitude as a tool for adapting. I've been kind of talking a little bit about sort of building up a toolkit and just coming up with all of the kind of specific things that have very notably changed how I have been functioning, thinking, and all of that ties together. And I've always been obviously a very grateful person. So that's without saying. I mean, so many beautiful things have happened along the way that I'm so grateful for. But this is more to really address starting gratitude as like a daily practice, and what that means. And a lot of people are very aware of it. So I know that every self help expert out there will say, gratitude practice, very important. But in terms of adapting and dealing with it when you're dealing with somebody who's very severely disabled and somebody who's very medically fragile and all the stress and everything, sometimes it slips away from us a little bit. We might say, I'm so grateful, but are we really naming it, the things within the, the grateful? Anyways, so last time I talked a little bit about meditation and the importance as a caregiver to find some time to carve away, even just stillness time, mindfulness training, little meditations, whatever it is, to really just spend some time, going inward and just deep breathing and trying to, kind of teach yourself how to be mindful, whatever that looks like. We're all different. We all have different schedules during the day and different pockets of time. But I have found that if I get up early before Daniel wakes up, it's just ideal for me. So like today I was up at 5:30. I did my little meditation time, took the dogs out, got some coffee, and then he wakes up. And today the nurse got here. It just all worked out. But it's just important to me now. It's like a ritual. So there's a lot of really, really good evidence to show that having a morning ritual is very, very helpful. But that's a lot of different components. So for me, right now, my morning ritual is wake up, make sure I'm alive, and settle in because I have fibromyalgia, so my mornings are a little painful and stiff. And the meditation really helps take the time I need to sort of wake up, but also reflect. It's just a really good time to set intention and reflect and meditate and all those things. And part of my morning ritual, the second thing I do is I have a gratitude journal that sits right by the table where I meditate. And I use that pretty frequently, almost every day. I journal every day, but I have several different places that I write into. I have a poetry journal, I have a meditation journal because sometimes I listen to courses, but I also have a gratitude journal where I will specifically just write in there what I am grateful for. And I separated it out probably about a year ago now, just to have just a gratitude journal because I really enjoy going back and just looking at what did I name? Because as you start to focus on what you're grateful for, it really does kind of increase and expand your awareness. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. And it's a good practice to do. It helps keep you centered. So yeah, so there was meditation and gratitude, and now I'm on gratitude. So whatever process you can do in terms of meditation, I don't think you need to really do anything fancy. My whole purpose of this is just to give you a tool that will help you cope with all the stress and manicness of dealing with somebody who's medically fragile. And I know it's a crazy life. You wake up in the morning and your mind is going, turning and turning, but it's very unhealthy, and you have to find a way to turn it off so that you can, give yourself some care. So many self-help gurus, again, they write about your gratitude practice, focusing on what you're grateful for to help you create more of what you're grateful for. But it also helps you to create a positive focus and to bring you right into the present moment. Because when you're focusing in the present moment on what you're grateful for, like I'm grateful for this desk, I'm grateful for this microphone, I'm grateful for my life and my husband and my family, it puts you in the present moment because you're right there. You're not thinking about the future. You're just extending gratitude. So I do, like I said, I have a little book and I journal all the time. And I I pre- I prefer journals that are blank. Some people like line journals. All of my journals are just blank. And the reason they're blank pages is because I am a doodler. So in all of my journals, I have a little pocket of pens, and I my favorite pens are the I forget who makes them, but they're ink joy, and they come in all different colors, and I love to write in different colors, and I love the way the color just sort of goes on the blank pages. So I write in there, but sometimes I draw and doodle, and I don't know, it's just me. But whatever makes you happy, right? So when you're dealing with somebody like I am, like when I'm taking care of my son Daniel, who's a 24-hour a day management situation, sometimes the walls feel like they're just closing in on you. And other family members might need you, and you have bill collectors calling you, and you need to get food for the house, and you got to take your car for this or that, and you got your own doctor's appointments, and the person you're caring for has to get to the doctor. You have lists and lists and lists of things that you have to do in terms of administration and management stuff. It's just unbelievable, but it doesn't feel sane. Like, it just feels insane, like you're just putting all your energy endlessly out into the universe, right? So, writing down what you're grateful for kind of helps to make it make sense, if that makes sense. I'm grateful for having enough money to pay this bill this month, or I'm grateful that my wheelchair van is running well and I can get him to the doctor, and that kind of thing. So, sometimes it goes in that direction. But as a family, like, we've been doing this, gratitude focus, I think way back before I ever really gave it a name. But when my kids were little, I had heard somewhere, this is a good thing to try. We would sit down at dinner time and go around the table. Okay, so Sarah, what are you grateful for? Sarah, and it would be in the context. I'm sorry, it would be in the context of what was the best part of your day today, and then expand on it. So that was a requirement. Instead of just saying, "How was your day?" Good. Kids, teenagers, good, fine, awful. Mm. Um, it would be, what was the best thing that happened to you today? So then they'd have to think about it. What was the best thing? And then they would talk about it, and then would open up a whole channel of a conversation that would lead into other things, and it was fun. So we did that, and it was a good practice. Uh, and I don't know, I just think it changed the whole dynamic of getting together as a family into a real positive experience. We smiled more, we laughed more, we were happy about sharing what we were happy about, right? Um, so, and here's another fun way to capture gratitude. A few years ago, when I really began to dig into Kinda kinda finding myself again, getting myself out of the depression and all the problems I was having. I started this little tradition with my sister, one of my sisters, and she was living with me at the time, and we would make these gratitude jars. And you can go on Pinterest or anywhere and just look up gratitude jar, right? They have them there too. But we would just take a big mason jar and pull out all the craft gear that we have and just decorate it and make it our gratitude jar. And basically the concept is, whenever you think of something that you're grateful for, we would drop it in there. And so we would do it like for the year. So that the concept being, at the end of the year, you empty it out, and then you have all these little notes and you can read them. And it's very, very interesting to see things that you were grateful for throughout the year that you may have forgotten about. So that's a fun way to do it too. I mean, I still have a gratitude jar where I drop little notes in, but now I just keep it on going. So every now and then I'll read it, and then I'll put them back in. And then when it gets full, I'll take them all out, but it's a big jar, so it takes a while since I'm writing in so many other places. But that's just a fun thing. You can do it with kids too. Just a little grateful jar. Put your little note in here. What happened? What was grateful, and save it. So, uh, whatever way that you can think of, it's just a lot of fun. Like whether it's a journal, whether it's drawing pictures, whether it's just talking about it, whatever way you can, to focus your brain on just the joy and the thankfulness and the abundance that's literally right around you is really, really great. So the art of a gratitude practice is really just to make it a practice to continually focus on the abundance that is around you. And that is big and small things. Included in my gratitude practice for me is a prayer of thanks. I do that as well. I'll write in my gratitude journal, and then I'll, say a prayer. Thank you, God, for all of these beautiful things that have blessed my life. And that's something that you can do too if it's something you're inclined to do. If I don't do that, I don't know. I feel like if I don't express gratitude every day, I just feel a little bit different. But then there are days when I don't feel very grateful. And I want to talk about that too, because it's not very altruistic, right? Like, oh, everything's great. And I say, I'm thankful. Because there are days when I'm just not having it. I am just too overwhelmed. I've got problems on every end. Daniel's crying. I can't figure it out. We got this going on. The nurse doesn't come in. The dog pooped on the floor. I got stressed. The phone's ringing. I don't have any freedom. I just want you to hear this, that I have times when I can't even go to the store. I can't schedule a day away to do anything on my own, unless I have somebody else in place to take care of Daniel. So my life is contingent on somebody else. And sometimes I will sit down and I'll just be feeling like crap, and I don't feel like being grateful. And it's probably the time that I need to do it the most, because it helps me to just slow down and kind of recenter myself. Uh, yeah. So, but it's hard. I mean, sometimes I have nurses that come, but also sometimes they call out sick or they quit. They change schedules. This ping pong life, I call it, it really wears down a caregiver to a place of feeling like you're going to lose it. I have found that when I'm in the dark places mentally, it's because I just spin out, and then the negative thoughts bring more negative thoughts. And I call it the tornado of negativity. I can't go to my appointment today. I can't do the things I want to do. Now I have to reschedule everything. I'm so tired. This is so upsetting. I can't make enough money now because I can't do this and this, and I'm not going to have time to do that. And I have to, deal with all these things. And now my fibromyalgia is flaring up because I'm having more stress, and now I'm going to hurt, and now it's just too hard, and now I'm so lonely, and I'm isolated, and Daniel's crying, and I'm not doing the best that I could be doing, and I don't feel like doing it. I'm frustrated. I need a break. Ugh, woe is me. I have to take care of Daniel now instead of getting done all of these other things, right? You get the picture? It happens to everybody in everybody's life, right? You spin out. And the more negative stuff that you think, the more negative stuff you bring in, and then more comes in, and then more bad crap happens. And oh my God, there's nothing helpful, productive, joyful, or meaningful in all that. It's just stressful. And you're much less inclined to find solutions to all those problems when you just give up, right? If anybody has followed me on Facebook, I mean, I go up and down. I ping pong. I'm only human. It's really difficult. I'm not a, I don't have a superpower here. I mean, people always say, "Oh, so strong." No, I feel more like a warrior, just having a bad day. I'm losing a battle, but I'm back at it. I'm back at it. So I'm adapting to not letting that control my life. Um, and that's when coming into living from the heart became so like aha moment for me. It was just this light bulb went off where I knew that my living from the head was gonna kill me because the life that I'm in is really hard. And I love my son, but it's just relenting day after day after day, taking care of him. So if you live from your heart instead of your head, you don't spin out, not as much anyway. And I don't really do it anymore, the whole spinning out thing. I find that I can catch myself. Um, I had 2 days last week where the nurses called out sick, and it was right after vacation, and I was exhausted. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just need help. And I said, okay, well, I'm just going to try to be grateful. I'm going to do what I can do. And that's it. That's what I did. So here's what I can oh, let me think of this in a different way. So how did I unspin myself? Okay, so then I say, well, let me just focus on what I'm grateful for to help me adapt. So here's what I would say to myself as an example. I would catch myself spinning out, take a deep breath, and focus on gratitude. And this is what it would look like for me. And I had written this down the day I wrote up this outline. I said, okay, let me just do this exercise. So this is what I did. Okay, so Julie, focus on what you're grateful for. And I started writing. Here is what I focus on gratitude for me would look like. I'm grateful for this home that I'm living in. I'm grateful for my dogs who get to be by my side all day long, which is fun. For Daniel's loving stares and smiles and just knowing how much he loves me and needs me. For the nature that's outside my window and around my yard that comforts me and reminds me of all these little miracles. The birds, the animals, the two baby deer I saw in the yard yesterday, the little birds and the cardinals and the things that land on my feeders, the bright colors of my summer flowers. So all those little miracles are just fantastic. And for being present as a source of knowledge and resource for Daniel's nurses when they are here. I'm grateful that when I go to the doctor or the hospital, that I have a library of information stored in my brain about Daniel's medical needs, his procedures, all of his stuff, for the past 24 years. You ask me, what's the basis of his condition? The older he gets, the harder it gets to tell them. But, when you go to the doctors and they say, well, what's his underlying condition? It's a long list. Anyway, I'm grateful for my husband, John, who works full time. He busts his butt to support us and take care of us, and that side of it helps to keep things going. Even though we had always hoped to be a two-income family, he's really done his part, but he also helps to take care of Daniel. So, he's really um, a very hardworking man, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the special needs community that I have. I'm grateful for the support group that I have on Facebook for other families whose kids have the same condition as Daniel, that I can tune into them and maybe offer some some comfort and some support since I seem to be one of the veterans, you know. I'm grateful that I am one of the veterans, that Daniel is 24 years old when they told us he probably wouldn't live to see 10. So that's incredible. So I'm also grateful for a washer and dryer that works because Daniel's incontinent, and that means he has a lot of laundry, like bed pads, sheets, towels. It's just a lot of laundry every day. So I am grateful for my husband who prepares dinners because my fibromyalgia gets really, really bad around 5, 6 o'clock at night. It is the worst time of day for me. And so when I'm really tired and hurting, he steps in and we do a lot of these meal prep programs like Home Chef. We're doing Home Chef now. We've done Hello Chef. And we really enjoy that because he's a very logical minded person. So he loves to cook dinner as long as he has the instructions and knows what to cook. So he's fantastic like that. He makes sure that dinner's on the table for me and I can't even tell you how grateful I am. I think I'm very lucky in that respect. I'm grateful for painting and crafting and projects that the more I just open up to being creative, the more ideas I come up with. And I use those ideas to spend time with Daniel to let him know that I love him and that we can have fun and create things together. And that's how the Etsy shop Daniel Special Art came about, because I wanted to find something that was like real, tangible, and also meaningful, that would be with us forever. And it's just really, really fun. So I love being creative. I'm not an artist, but you see my flamingo up there? Dale and I did that together, and we sell that on the shop too. It's really, really fun. And we just follow tutorials, or we just wing it. Pinterest. I love Pinterest, you guys. I'm on there all the time. It's my Bible. Um, I'm grateful for my family, my dad and my sisters and my in-laws, and all the people in my life who really, my nieces and my nephews and all the people who reach out and who are just so fantastic. I'm really grateful for my coffee maker because I love coffee. I mean, not everybody gets to have a nice hot cup of coffee every morning with your choice of milk. And that's something that I don't take for granted. Never will. It's fantastic. And I have a comfortable chair and I have comfy slippers. And I get to sit in that comfortable chair every morning and have coffee and relax. And I get to be home most of the time. I mean, some people are living lives of very stressful careers and they're barely home. I'm home all the time. So while I like to get out and have a break, I get to really enjoy my home. So I'm very blessed in that way. And my husband's actually been working remotely a lot, and we're both home. And I'm not sure how long that's going to continue forever, probably not. But in the meantime, like since COVID, his job kind of changed and he started doing some different responsibilities, and he was able to just be remote, and he travels, but he can most of the time work from here. And so we spend a lot of time together. I'm grateful for Daniel's equipment that makes my life so much easier, like the ceiling track lifts, the wheelchairs and the standers and the bath chairs, the grant that I just got for being able to adapt his bathroom. I'm so grateful for that because now I don't have to like lift the thing into the shower. Now I can just roll him in. I'm grateful for, fresh, good food every day. I'm grateful for my technology. I'm grateful for my laptop and my lighting and my pretty room and my IKEA drawers and my like all this stuff. This pink blanket. I love this thing. It just sits over my chair. It makes me feel comfy. I'm so grateful. I love these things. I love my dogs. I'm so grateful for my dogs. They are the best little dogs. They're my best friends. And my cat, who's just such a doll, he just sits and loves me. And see, all of a sudden, it's like you've just gotten this virus of happiness. And you're like, "Oh yeah, that just makes me feel," and I can feel it even just reading this. I can feel this change in my entire body, like the vibration changes, right? Wow, this is fantastic. This is so fantastic. So try it if you don't do that. If you're very having a really, really rotten, spinning out kind of day, a gratitude practice is something that you can do whenever. Do it in the shower, do it in your car, do do it over breakfast. Do it with your loved one who you're caring for. Whatever. Just it's so important. It's just like breathing to me, being grateful. And that's my piece on gratitude. Sometimes it's seems like a simple thing. Oh, be grateful. Didn't our parents always tell us say thank you, right? But in the big scheme of things, really giving it a name and like feeling it in your heart, or even like when you're reading it, just put your hand on your heart and just really think, wow, I'm so grateful for that. And just visualize it and just think about it and um, look at the detail. Sometimes I'm like, "Ah, I'm grateful for the little birds," and then I like look at the detail on those birds. I've got finches and I've got tufted titmouse out there and chickadees and goldfinches and cardinals and oh, they're so beautiful. And then it just expands, see? It's like ripples. I love that. I love that. There's probably like some technical, like philosophical word for it, but I'm just saying, I just know how I feel and it feels good to be grateful. Things don't feel as scary and dark for me here. When I focus on the light, like I just said, and for what I'm thankful for, I realize how much abundance I have. And more abundance starts to happen. It's like an energy that starts to just churn like an engine. It's like a higher vibration. Something physically changes within me, and I can express my love and appreciation. It's almost like I'm being given energy to expand and grow, and it creates more of itself, and the light shines brighter. And this is joy, and this is why we're alive, right? And so it goes. So I think, in essence, you guys, a tool to building resilience to adapt to our adversity and how hard it is to create a focus of gratitude. Even though it feels like sometimes you don't have anything to be grateful for, you probably really do. It can turn what feels impossible into things that have possibility and potential. Creativity, love, positivity, and joyful living is heart-centered living, and it doesn't come from your mind where thoughts are, you can't do that. That's too hard. You don't have enough money. You need to do that. You didn't do that. You didn't pay that bill. You got to pay a fee. They're coming after you. You're late for that appointment and you can't reschedule it now. And you know what I mean? The insurance isn't paying that. And like all those negative things. It's just terrible, terrible. And that's where the tornado spinning comes in. And then you start to have anxiety. And then you start to get sick because you're stressed and your cortisone starts and all the bad stuff that comes with stress and anxiety, right? Your mind doesn't tell you, "Oh, isn't that wonderful? Think happy thoughts. Think, oh, feel love and joy." That comes from your heart. So if your heart says, "Hey, mind, we're going to be grateful today," then your mind says, "Okay." It's like, yeah, you're not shutting off your mind. You're just thinking a little differently. You're thinking more from your heart. And that's the whole point. So I take a deep breath. Oop, whoopsies. And I put my hand on my heart and I give thanks for my heart. My heart is strong and it is deep, and I have a great capacity to love and to care. And I'm very excited to be sharing my journey with you. And for the fact that I am figuring out tools myself for how I'm getting these words onto a screen and into a podcast and into a YouTube channel and into the world so that hopefully somebody else can say, wow, that's cool because I'm in the same position that you are, and this is really helping me today. Um, that's my goal and my purpose, and it's going pretty good so far, I hope. So I'm grateful to be able to care for my son, and my son who was dealt such a horrible blow in life, and I do so with deep compassion and deep heart. And while caring for him, I'm continuing to develop my quest for a greater purpose in this world through my words and thoughts, actions, and feelings. So I hope that others who may be feeling like their brain is in a tornado and they're anxious and they're stuck in that vortex of fear spirals and negativity and hopelessness can possibly hear my words, you guys, and that maybe something that I say may help you today. That's really my hope. So if you don't have a gratitude practice, I encourage you to try it. In my morning ritual, like I said, I go to my little sacred space, as I call it, where I meditate in my family room, which is like right off my kitchen. I have a little chair there. It's like a white, I think it's like a nursing chair originally, like a recliner. I bought it on Facebook Marketplace, but it's a little comfy white chair. And I sit in there with a little blanket on my lap and the cat, and I journal and I give thanks and I listen to all kinds of different things, mostly on Insight Timer because I love Insight Timer. But sometimes I just sit, and sometimes I just sit and just like look around, or I pat the cat who always sits on my lap and does, the cat woo thing with the claws. That's the reason why I have the blanket, because he hurts me with his like, little, how they need bread, the cats. It most definitely helps to start my day. And gratituding, that's a new word, right? You can decide whatever way to go with it, but try to write it down in a place where you can revisit it. What we think about is so powerful in the process of developing our armor to be resilient, to get through these days, weeks, months, years, and decades of being a caregiver for another human soul, right? What we think about is so powerful. So may you be blessed today with strength and compassion. I'm really so grateful. I'm so grateful for this podcast, which I was really intimidated to start. And now I'm finding it so healing, even in my own journey. It's like, I got to get back on there. I got to get back on there. I got to get back up there. And this whole room was devoted to my podcast, right? This is the podcast room. The whole family calls it that. So this is my room. This is your room. And also, remember to visit the YouTube channel. It's just called my name, Julie Hasselberger. I post videos up there, and the videos are sort of like a video blog, a vlog. So they call it VLOG, or a video blog. And it's all random, and it's all, you know, kind of like an inside scoop in terms of the everyday. Sometimes you're going to see me on the YouTube channel having spin out. It happens. I record it. I'm not going to lie. There's hard times, there's good times, and you know, it is what it is. And that's the whole point of the YouTube channel. And Daniel's on there, so you get to see my sweetheart. He's on there a lot. My kids sometimes, but they're not home right now. They're off in their lives. So anyway, that's the YouTube channel. I think I have 8,540 subscribers right now ish, give or take. So join us there. And please share this podcast with other people who you think might like to listen to it. And I'm very, very happy. And when people contact me, I'm still trying to figure out the whole build a website that links to the podcast thing. But I'm getting better, like I said, at my tools, and putting it all together is not always easy when you're someone who's also a caregiver. So this is good stuff. I also sometimes throw out a couple TikToks on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Jay Hasselberger. And of course, like I said, I did mention, and I have to give a plug, Daniel's Special Art. It's a silly, not silly, it's a little art shop on Etsy. And we showcase our collaborative adapted art. And there's some cute little things in there. We even have cute little journals and notebooks. So maybe you could get one of Daniel's notebooks and use that for your gratitude journaling. I don't know. So who knows? We love the support. We love the community. And in my next episode, I will share a third tool for adapting. And I have to decide which one I'm going to focus in on, but I'm going to have another tool that has been monumental in helping me build resilience and weather the storms, so to speak, and stop the tornadoes from coming. So may you be blessed today with strength, compassion, love, gratitude. We can do this. We can do this. I love you. Talk to you next time.